Whether you like it or not, we've all been there. Well, at least that's what it used to feel like. Have you ever received a DDoS attack or been doxed or threatened by personal information? I sure have. Back in 2013 to 2015, it seemed to be a bit of a highlight for cheap or even free internet attacks across people all over the gaming community, and today I'm going to share with you some of my stories from back in the e-gangster phase. It hasn't really ended. For those that don't know what this is, DOS, denial of service, or DDoS, distributed denial of service, is when a large amount of information packets are sent to a location, basically to override and shut down wherever targeted. Whereas doxing is finding out lots of personal information from any given person or organisation. Likely, you've heard this phrase from an enemy from the opposing team or some of your online mates, most likely making jokes about it. But DDoSing is no joke, and although the stories I'm about to tell you might sound funny, it definitely wasn't back then. It's by far one of the lowest forms of bullying/revenge, but I suppose this is debatable. The first ever experience I had with DDoSing or a major outage was in 2011, April 17th, but was known worldwide to shut down April 20th. This is the PlayStation Network outage that Anonymous took down themselves, and they kept it down for a very, very long time. And back then, I had strangely been doing something similar to what I do now, playing a game called Little Big Planet. Sort of like Minecraft Creative if you think about it. Anyone remember that game? I had this really big idea with the second game, to use these level portals to create the nicest mansion with a whole new level for each room with a left and right option, so you could really explore it. And it had never been done before, so I wanted to finish it and share it with the world on PSN. But halfway through, I was cut short by the anonymous DDoS attack. I couldn't even finish making the mansion because PSN was required for those level portal thingies. I was gutted. It's hard to remember exactly how long it went on for, but I'm pretty sure it went on for longer than a year, right? Any of you remember that? When news came out that the PSN servers were going to be coming back online, I was so excited to speak to my online friends that I'd parted from for what felt like forever, only to sign in and no one came back. I checked every day became every week, and eventually I stopped playing on PS3 altogether. By taking this defeat, it had brought on a new aspiration, and that was to eventually make it to the gods of the gaming realm and grab myself a PC. After getting my PC and having multiple upgrades and new games, I finally settled on Minecraft to invest all my time into. Before it had been MMORPGs, as nothing like it was available on console, apart from Oblivion, which I loved. But I never encountered any personal attacks until Minecraft. I made my current channel to HPVP on January 7th, 2014, after having a few other channels I experimented with, and with it I was gaining subscribers fast and making lots of new friends and enemies. But all those years ago, I was but a naive child and would give anyone that asked my Skype. Bad idea there, Alex. I also had a server that my subs would play kit PvP on. It was so fun. But one day, Nile_ and Quantix MC and Matt Easy Refill logged into my server. They said, "Hi Alex." "Hi Alex Boardman." I'm like, okay, so I know who one of these guys is, but why the fuck have they logged into my server, greeted me by my full name? So I don't respond, and they start saying shit about my house and my town and my actual house number and street name, like what the fuck? Not long after, my server goes down, and so do I. After this happened, with all of my saved screenshots, I decided to make a video warning people of what Matt Easy Refill and his cronies were up to. It actually had a really positive outcome, and people had learnt not to trust him and were surprised at what he was up to. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know a little bit about my past, and that I e-dated someone named Amy, and she had an ex of her own. And one day, I found a faction server I wanted to check out, so I logged in and typed in chat. I think a subscriber replied to me, and the ex's ex called me gay in chat. Yeah, I know, really good insult, man. Anyway, I told him to stafoo and quickly was banned from the server. I moved on for it straight away and went to something else, and that's when I got a knock on the door. I didn't even think it was linked to what had just happened, but I looked out my window and saw a car parked outside. So I ran downstairs and answered the door, and the strongest smell of fast food just hit me right in the face, and this dude had like 3 bags stuffed full of food, and it just hits me. That little bastard online took my IP from the server, being an admin with access, and sent an unpaid fast food order to my house. The guy at my doorstep asked for 70 quid, £70 worth of food was just about to get gone. I tried to explain to the guy the situation, that some dude online was really unhappy at me for pretty much no reason at all, and set this up to mess with me. I'm not about to pretend that I can just whip out 70 bigger ones to pay for one night's dinner, like hell no. The guy asked me to prove it, and I just said you can check my phone number, and it didn't match. I told him to give me the number that called up, but he said don't worry and left. Actually one of the strangest experiences I ever had. I suppose I was just glad it wasn't a police raid when I suddenly realised it was him that did it. I can't really believe that I have all these stories to tell. Most small attacks that I've heard of personally have mostly been over the pettiest things. One of the things I try to avoid when I'm playing games is drama, but I feel like the more you delve deeper into things like old Skype and Discord, it starts to present itself. There are so many little communities fueled by hatred, but I don't want it to sound like it's all bad. I'd say online communities are somewhat bittersweet. But I don't completely disagree with DDoSing and Doxing. I think there is a time and a place for it. Without the use of these, big corporations wouldn't be trying to hide our card information, or spend more money on servers to withstand big attacks or anything that could be thrown at them. As for small, personal attacks, I really do think it's pathetic that the only way to get back at someone is to wipe their existence for a short while, until they are back on again. This is what trash talking is all about, and in most cases it's harmless, but all cases of DDoSing and Doxing are going to worry the user it's happened to. And maybe you should think twice before doing something so petty.